So, have you guys seen Turning Red yet? I did. I watched it like as soon as it came out on Disney Plus.
Daniel, guess
I
what?
haven't seen it yet.
Guess what?
What?
I haven't watched it, man.
Well, maybe you should.
But
It's
more
alright, 'cause
importantly,
I got the next movie, guys. I got the next Pixar movie.
Oh, do
$3
you?
million idea.
Okay.
Cars 4?
what do you got for us?
Close.
Incredibles
close.
3? Incredibles 3?
Frozone's own solo movie?
Frozone's Origins.
It's called Pixar Wars. All right.
Oh.
All
Wow.
right? It's kind of a prequel to Wall-E.
Okay.
So it takes place after the humans leave.
Hmm.
Right. And what it is a battle for Earth against the remaining things there, which are the bugs from Bug Life, the robots, the toys, and the rats from Ratatouille.
What are the toys gonna do?
Oh, wee.
There's so many of them, man.
Okay.
What Bug's gonna do?
With you, the bugs swarm you, bro.
I swarm robots? Come on. I don't care.
Remember Ant-Man? He was able to go into Iron Man's suit.
These ants don't shrink.
They don't need to because they're ants.
It's this $1 million idea. And as it ends, it's just gonna be one robot standing, and he takes one bug hostage. The one bug hostage is gonna be the cricket from Wall-E. Or the
I don't know if Pixar going wrong with this idea.
Wait, are you saying Wall-E is the last one standing?
Yes.
Bug hostages.
So he's actually like a war champion.
Yes. We finally get the backstory of Wall-E. The reason why he doesn't talk is he's a scarred veteran.
Daniel,
Okay.
a big plot twist. One of the major sad parts of the movie is when Buzz Lightyear realizes that the only way to win this is to commit war crimes, and he just gives up. He just goes out, and Woody's like, "You don't have to do this," and he's like, "Yes, I do." And I'm taking out all the bugs.
Yes, think of it. It's $1 million idea. It confirms the Pixar theory that it's all one big universe.
Like, there's some problems with that, bro. I'm dead though.
Alright, if you guys haven't guessed, today's episode is Pixar movies. Past ones, not this amazing future one that is coming up. Mark my words.
Yeah.
Hitting theaters 2024, Pixar Wars.
24. Wow.
Pixar, I'm only take a 50% cut of the profits. That's all. That's my fee.
What a
Only
generous,
50. Only 50. Wow.
What a generous man.
Yeah. All right. So we all picked a movie to talk about, and first up is Daniel.
Let's go. All right, I picked my favorite Pixar movie, which is Finding Nemo, the tale of some fish. Now, the reason I like Finding Nemo is because just like with Up, in the very start of the movie, you enter a deep depression. So Marlin and his wife Coral are just like preparing for the birth of their like 1,000 children, and then all of a sudden a barracuda shows up and slaughters all of them? Yeah, but no, because one egg survives. And guess who it is? It's Dory. No, it's Nemo. So the way this goes is that Marlin is an overprotective father, and Nemo resents him for it one time and gets kidnapped, like Taken. It's basically Taken with fish. So Marlin runs into
And
Dory.
less murder.
Well, no, actually, probably more in the first 5 minutes of the movie. I would argue that Taken is the like less gory version of Finding Nemo.
Taken is the kid version of Nemo.
Yeah,
Taking the PG version.
yeah. Like you don't see what happens when Marlin gets knocked out and his whole family is consumed. In fact, it's worse because they get consumed. Well, anyways, so Marlin and Dory traverse the whole ocean and meet a colorful cast of exotic fish people. And then they finally get to, what is it, something Wallaby Way, Sydney? I should have looked that up. But anyways, so Nemo's stuck in a tank with some other fish who are trying to break him out, and Marlin and Dory are trying to break in. Eventually, Nemo gets back into the ocean, reunites with his father, and they all learn a valuable lesson about, I guess, overprotective parenting. or
That
something.
it's right.
It's okay. Here's the thing. Marlin kind of has a point because as soon as like Nemo disobeys him for the first time ever, he gets abducted.
Nolan has a great point. What do you mean? His kid almost died. But his whole problem was that he said don't leave because you can get hurt. And what happened when his kid stayed? They got eaten alive. So like it was a lose-lose for him either way. His son just happened to have a weak fin and then got taken.
Well, like I really like it because you kind of like sympathize with Marlin because he's been through some serious trauma, and you're like, I definitely see why you won't let your son do anything. But then Nemo's just a kid and he doesn't realize that like all of his siblings and mother got demolished in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Anyways, it's not as deep as the other. Actually, it's more deep because it's in the ocean than the other Pixar movies.
What you think of the sequel, the Finding Dory?
Fan of Finding Dory. It didn't need to happen, but I can enjoy watching Finding
even
Dory.
What even happened in that movie? I just heard that. I never watched. I just heard she like
same
she was
thing,
looking for her
same thing,
parents.
except put Dory in the tank and put Marlin and Nemo out.
A little different. I mean, Dory
they're
goes
looking
to find
for
her
her?
parents,
Oh, okay.
and like she ends up going to, gosh, where is it? California, to like a place like a rehabilitation place, and she finds her parents not there, but in the ocean right outside of the place, and then they go like Mad Max on the road and cause a giant truck to explode over the water. It's cool.
And destroy more people and more
Whoa.
cops.
Yeah, we learned that everything's okay if you use baby otters because no one gets reprimanded at all for like the massive casualties.
True.
So long as baby artist.
Anyways, Finding Nemo, there's a few Easter eggs in the dentist office where Nemo's being like kept. In the waiting room, there's a comic book that a kid is reading that has Mr. Incredible on it. There's also a toy box with Buzz Lightyear, I think, inside of it. And I'm not sure if it's only in the DVD or if it was in the movie release too, but like halfway through the credits or near the end, Mike Wazowski swims by the credits, and it's like, oh,
No way.
cool. Yeah, bro, I swear, unless I'm wrong and like my mind has like construed this.
Nah, I'll take your word on it.
No, don't do it. Actually, yeah, do it, because I'm always right.
Yeah, I
And
got you.
I mean, we were gonna talk later about how it fits into the Pixar movie, but spoiler, they're fish. I don't know what to tell you. It's not that deep, except for the ocean.
Which is very deep.
It's a very deep ocean.
Finding Nemo, everyone. Classic.
Classic.
Classic. You know what's also a classic?
No.
Well, have I got some news for you? The one guy that replied back to my question.
Bro, I just looked it up. Mike Wazowski is in the credits. See, I wasn't just like imagining things.
I've never noticed that before. That Mike Wazowski was in the credits.
You know, it's like so obvious. I guess you just never watched the credits. Somewhere beyond the sea. Okay, sorry, Cinder.
Alright, so I'm gonna be talking about another classic, a 2004 American classic,
Oof.
known as The Incredibles. Have you guys heard about the movie? It's a little bit small, you know.
I
Not
heard
that
about like
famous.
this small indie creator named Frozone.
Small indie, yeah. I think he's an extra or something.
yeah, I think he's like a background character. Played like
Played by
Eddie
the
Murphy or
small
something.
indie act. Yeah, played by the small indie actor of Samuel L. Jackson.
Actually, speaking of Frozone, we actually have a special guest, guys, on the podcast. We have Frozone actually on our call. Frozone, do you want to see any words?
I lost my super suit.
Oh gosh, the line it was wrong a little bit, but it got the essence of the line.
It's not wrong because it's still missing.
Honey. Oh yeah, it is.
No,
still to this day.
You'll find it back in Incredibles 3. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Incredibles 3.
I'll
It's
have
actually
to
just
do
a
one.
Incredibles 3
range of
home
the
for
suit.
the
Wait,
suit.
wait, Frozone. So it's Incredibles 3 confirmed?
Of course. And solo films.
All right, guys. Wait, where are you at? That's the consensus. It is back for a third movie. Anyways, so in The Incredibles, it first starts out with the news basically showing how superheroes have been doing some collateral damage, in their
Yeah.
crime fighting, breaking some stuff, buildings, houses.
COVID.
Basically, they have something called a superhero relocation program, which basically forces these super people to go into secret identities and basically stop their crime fighting world. And 15 years later, there's a Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible and their children, Violet Dash and baby Jack Jack, who are living a nice life.
Ish.
Yeah, ish. No, because the kids suck. But anyways, so
Okay.
basically, Mr. Incredible, also known as Bob, doesn't like this lifestyle, and he works as a insurance adjuster. And
What do you have?
basically, that's a dangerous life, Daniel.
It is. I know personally speaking, even though I'm not any of that.
It is very dangerous, though.
Got paper cuts. You got cramps in the
Staples
fingers.
are dangerous.
Yeah, Kenny's right. Staples.
Even the thing that
Sharpeners?
takes out the staples.
Oh man, it's a very action-packed, dangerous lifestyle.
Oh.
And basically, he also works with his boy. I also mentioned earlier, Frozone, known as Lucius. And yeah, he also doubles down as a vigilante, even though he's not supposed to be. But basically, while he's at work one day, he sees a mugging happening outside. So basically, he was going to go help them, or he wanted to go help, and his supervisor assures him that it's going to be okay and not to get involved. And then all of a sudden, Bob loses his temper and accidentally injures him, which ultimately gets him fired, because injuring someone's not that good.
Yeah. As it should.
Way worse than you're letting it on. He
Yeah,
throws him through
he
like
got-
5 walls.
He
He
was
broke
in a
like every
full body-
bone in his body.
He was in a
Oh.
full body cast.
It's fine. It's fine. Just
He was out for weeks.
Like that guy anyway.
He have to relearn how to walk.
well, basically, when he
Yeah,
gets
that's like 6 months down the line after he's healed a bit.
He's insured, though.
Yeah, he's insured. He's still alive, so it's fine. Basically, yeah. So he goes home. He gets a phone call from a girl named Mirage. She basically has a task for him to go to an island, and basically, it's a mission to destroy a savage robot called an Omnidroid. And basically, he disables it by getting it to attack itself and ripping out its own power source. And after he returns, he actually liked the mission, and basically she keeps giving him missions to do. Basically, 2 months after this whole back and forth thing's going on, he even gets Katerra in a super suit and visits Edna, who made the suit and makes suits for the rest of his family as well, without them knowing that he's doing this secret work on the side. He then goes to the island another time as well and figures out he's a super fan, or an ex-super fan, who actually owns the island and was the head of this whole thing that he was dealing with the robots. And basically, that guy had a death wish from Mr. Incredible because he wronged him, did him dirty.
That bad. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah, he was kind of over exaggerating.
What was his name? Incredible Boy or something? Oh no, Mr.
Was it
Incredible
Incredible
Boy
Boy?
want me
Incredible
to
Boy.
be his sidekick.
Bro,
Yeah,
he didn't get
incredible
an autograph, and that was it, man. Come on now. Serious?
Didn't let him risk his life.
Fly home, Bucky. I work alone. Oh, jeez. Sends shivers down my spine.
Shivers. Helen basically visits Edna and learns that Bob has been up to something on the side. She then activates like a homing signal that Edna built to find the suits, and they use the powers to reach to the island with a Jack, Elastigirl, and yeah.
What Jack do?
No,
Nah, Jack
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 is not
was
there.
at home still.
You're thinking Dash.
Oh, sorry, did I say
Yeah,
Jack?
I thought Dash was
Yeah,
there.
Dash.
Yeah,
my
you
bad.
said Jack.
Jack's
Okay.
doing Jack attack, you know?
Jack's traumatizing a babysitter
Yeah.
Dash.
for life.
And basically, they go and infiltrate the base to help Mr. Incredible.
Do they really help him though? Cause like, don't
So-
they like get captured as well?
So,
they
yeah,
definitely
okay,
help
okay,
him.
here's what happens.
Violet like saves everybody.
So
Yeah,
basically,
but didn't they all get captured
Yeah, but Violet breaks them out.
so Bob,
after
Okay.
they got captured?
so basically, here's what happened. So Mirage basically released Bob, and then tells him that his family's survival over there onto the island, and then basically, so Helen basically arrives and races off with Bob to find the children because the children were lost on the island. And then, it's not lost. They were in a cave and they ran away to look on the top of the mountain. So basically, while they were looking at the boys on top of the mountain, they're getting chased by Syndrome's guards, who then get wrecked. By the way,
Good.
by Violet and Dash.
Dash actually owns them. That was a 16.
Bro, Dash
that was
is
probably the
Dash
best
is a
scene of the whole
sick
series.
man, bro.
Bro, when he runs on water, like I know it's like fast runs on
Yes.
water, but like that's
Bro,
like the iconic one.
Yeah,
He's also my favorite guy to play in the video game. Those are my favorite levels.
that's
When they
true.
had the GameCube
Run
game.
straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what also happens too is Syndrome captures all of them. That's reuniting, even though they're all together, with their superpowers. And basically he imprisons them while he follows a rocket that's being transported to Metroville, which is where their house is in their city. And
So they bust out and they follow him, and he's trying to beat the robot to show that, hey, look, you don't have to be a superhero to fight evil. But then the robot destroys him, and then the Incredibles have to show that, yes, you do have to be special to make a difference to the world.
okay, yeah, so basically
Wait, hold on.
bro, I'm so tired. Okay, yeah, so basically, like Daniel said, they break out of where they're being imprisoned, and while Syndrome was making a fool of himself and getting hit by his own robots, who he designed to be able to take down, he then gets assaulted by his own robots and almost the big die. But then Mr. Incredible and his family go to disarm the robots and to destroy them, and basically Helen then finds a remote and is allowed to control the robots, and Bob is then allowed to kill them.
What a amazing relay of that incredible.
Yeah.
film.
But guess what?
Frozone's there too.
As if it's
What?
as if it wasn't not good enough already, Frozone was there.
Yup. He sure is.
He was at the end. It wasn't Mole Man there too. Got the big drill.
That
Yeah.
was like at the very, very end. That was like after all of that.
That was
And
at the
the
end,
Underminer.
the end of it and the start of 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
wait,
wait.
Two was so bad. I did not like that movie.
but wait,
I
there's-
didn't hate that movie.
2's not bad.
I didn't like it. I was gonna say in the first
He doesn't
one.
like it because there's not enough Frozone.
Yeah.
It's like Frozone was only for a little bit in the middle, and at the end, I don't even like that.
So basically, like,
They were in the first.
after this whole scene
I know-
goes down, Syndrome then goes and gets up, and it goes to get Jack to make him his own sidekick out of revenge. So basically, so when he goes to pick him up and he goes towards the jet while holding Jack really shows us his superpowers, which include shapeshifting and escape syndrome midair. So then Helen then rescues Jack while he's falling down, and Bob throws his car at Syndrome's plane as he boards it, and Syndrome is then sucked into the jet's turbine.
So
And
that
explodes.
dang cape, bro.
What a way to go.
And yeah, that is all. Also, there are some Easter eggs too.
Fantastic, man.
So the Easter eggs in this movie are some DC references, but
Wait, really?
no, it's Incredibles 2. But
Okay.
that was just funny.
Okay.
But there's
Yeah.
there's stuff like Chinese food, like the Chinese
Get
food
out of
box.
here. Let's go from
No,
DC
no, no,
to
no.
Chinese food.
No, but sorry, that's an actual Easter egg.
Yeah, it is.
The Chinese food?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it is. It's the same. It's the Chinese food. Like the Chinese place on the box is the same Chinese place that you see in Inside Out, A Bug's Life, Ratatouille, Toy Story 2, and
Wait.
Monsters Inc.
It's like the by and large.
It's like the
Yeah.
weirdest Easter egg ever. It's literally just like a Chinese food box that appears in like all of these movies.
You can also see Doc in Incredibles from Cars. The
Oh,
model car.
yeah, you're right. You're right. It's in the like big fight scene at the end.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah.
Kenny just wrecked you, Sinrick. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that Doc was our favorite character. Doc was in that scene. Is that his name?
Yeah, it is Doc. I don't think they actually gave him a name other than just Doc. Or what was his racing name? His racing, the Hudson Hornet?
I
Yeah.
have no
Hudson
idea.
something.
Wasn't it Hudson Hornet? Doc's racing name?
I don't know, bro. I
I
watched
remember.
Cars 1 like
A long
twice.
time ago.
And I never
What's
watched
funny
it.
in The Incredibles, I always liked Syndrome. I think his villain name was kind of cool. I don't remember how he got his powers because he was flying
He just
around.
makes
He
he
just
has, like,
makes-
inventions.
Yeah, he's just
like
smart.
like jet boots or whatever.
Yeah.
But bro, the like
I always liked his hair. His hair is always
cool.
pointed up.
Yeah,
His
his
hair's
head
cool,
matter-
but bro, Syndrome's whole point is that you don't need superpowers to be super, right? And you're like, I agree, make a difference. And the whole movie just teaches you, no, you do have to be a superhero. Because they're the only ones that like get anything done.
He gets beat by a whole family of them.
It's that and ignore the laws.
Oh yeah, I also have some more Easter eggs too. I just didn't get finished. So Incredibles, remember Voyage?
Oh, he's in Ratatouille, right?
Yes, he is. He's an actual mime in that movie in Paris, as well as in the movie for the first movie as well, when the babysitter's on the phone, and basically she says Mozart makes babies smarter, and that's when you can actually see Jack actually realize he has powers.
Nice.
And in the
can
second
tell.
one, they use that to control his powers as well.
Oh, you're right, they do. Yeah. Edna like builds it into the thing, right?
Yeah, she like plays it to help him.
Also,
Hey, that's actually cool. I didn't realize that was a callback to Jack Attack.
Also, for their original suits for Mr. Incredible and Last Girl, people were saying because Mr. Incredible's suit was blue and hers was red, since they had a kid together, they named her Violet.
Oh, what about Dash? No, nobody cares. He's fast, so he's Dash.
Yeah.
But you gotta think they came up with that name, either that or it's a nickname before he actually got his powers.
Yes.
Well,
What if
don't
what
they
if the powers
say
were not speed?
if it wasn't? Isn't his name Dashel? Like, isn't that his actual name?
Yeah, it's like Dashiell
Oh.
Robert Parr. Or
Oh,
something
also,
like that.
in Coco, they also have a poster of the Incredibles, but
Oh, really?
they're like skulls, I guess.
So are the Incredibles real or are they just comic book characters in the Pixar world?
Yes.
In Finding Nemo, he's in a comic book, and then
I think.
You
But
could
they
say
actually-
though that
they
they
actually
just
lived there.
made comic books about.
Yeah, I think it's like comic
About
books
them?
about real life. Yeah.
so the event actually happened though.
Maybe. I mean,
I think-
that's up for debate, I guess.
I think it's almost like what they said in like Logan, where like some of the stuff happened, but they kind of like dramaticized a lot of it,
Okay, they kind of like amped it up to make it
Yeah.
more.
amped it up and toned it down a bit.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I get it.
Now, my question is Robert Parr actually a millionaire from all his comic book selling? Does he actually get a cut of that?
Bro, he lives in like this dinky little house. Do you think he's a
But I'm
millionaire?
talking like in Incredibles 3, are you gonna actually see that after all the legislation goes through and he's allowed to be a superhero, that he collects on all the superhero merchandise?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say he doesn't have ownership of his identity.
It doesn't.
Anyways,
Oh no,
that was
I think they should have that in Incredibles 3, where all superheroes are rich off their own merchandise.
I don't think there's gonna be a 3. Oh wait, what was I saying? Cedric said, remember Frozen straight from Frozen's mouth from
yeah.
Incredibles 3.
Yeah,
Confirmed.
confirm.
Yes, it is confirmed. You heard it here first, folks.
Definitely not misleading anyone.
No,
Definitely not.
definitely, definitely
Anyway.
not. All right. So for my movie, I picked everyone's favorite robot, Wally.
Baymax? Oh.
Baymax debate episode. The link in the corner.
Wally versus Baymax.
All I'm saying, Baymax is weird.
Yes.
No, what was? Could you classify the Terminator as a robot?
Heck
It is a robot.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
So then who'd win?
still Baymax.
Baymax?
Baymax and Terminator?
Baymax, easy.
You put him into that giant robot mode
against,
and
against
giant.
Wally.
Oh, Terminator.
Terminator
Wally
would
loses.
destroy
But
Wally.
Wally loses to anyone. Wally loses to Stitch.
Wally's got a laser.
Yeah, well,
For
that
some
doesn't, he
reason.
doesn't
Oh,
use it
yeah.
at any point besides cutting like one thing. Actually, he doesn't uses it like twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But we have to remember, Wally's a garbage machine.
Literally trash man.
He's a waste allocation loader lifter Earth classification.
What a way to make Wally the name.
All right. Yeah, so my movie starts off with Wally on Earth after everyone left because, you know, it's filled with garbage. Good job, humanity.
Good job, us.
Yeah, so he's there, you know, picking up garbage, and you know, for all we know, it could be dead bodies from the war. For all we know,
Oh yeah, the very real PIXAR war.
a very real Pixar war that's coming. He's there with his POW, the cockroach,
Wait, what is POW?
prisoner of war.
Okay.
Oh, bro, what?
Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah. So then I think they say every like 5 years they send down an EV to Earth to check for plant, because she is an extraterrestrial vegetation evaluator is what EV stands for.
Eve, by the way.
Yeah.
Like Adam
Oh.
and.
Adam and Eve.
And
It's
then
Wally and
Adam
Eve.
and the EV.
Eve of Pokemon.
Eve and
Okay,
Pokemon.
go on, Kenny.
Immediately when Wally sees her, he starts simping for her hard.
That's great to know, Kenny.
Is that not what happens?
It's
Damn,
yeah,
it's not
okay.
wrong.
It's not wrong.
So then Wally keeps showing her all the stuff he's collected over his many years of being the last survivor.
Garbage and possible dead bodies.
Yeah. And he shows her this plant he found in a fridge, which I don't know, even if Earth does have sustainable energy, how it survives in a fridge, but whatever.
We don't need to know.
And that puts her into lockdown mode until the home ship arrives and Wally hitches a ride into space. While
We
in
meet the people.
yeah, that's where he meets
No,
people
I'm just remembering this movie now.
Do you guys realize that Wally hangs on to the outside of a rocket ship while it passes the sun, which means that thing has to be going at like super high speeds, since when he gets back to Earth, the cockroach is still sitting there, meaning it traveled to the sun in like a day,
yeah.
and he hung on and didn't fly
It didn't
off
even-
into the sun.
Wally's durable.
Maybe he
Built
can
different.
be Baymax.
Wait,
He's built like-
maybe he can.
He built like Tyler 1, Daniel. Don't judge him.
He's too powerful to be kept alive.
While there, Otto tries to stop them from going to Earth because of so he can hold on to power that he's controlled.
Yeah.
I know the AI of the ship.
It's
Yeah.
a steering wheel.
It's literally just Auto short for like automatic.
Auto, isn't it auto assist or auto driver or something?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like automatic control or something.
It's Tesla's automatic drive or GPS thing.
Tesla's by and large confirmed.
Kind of though.
Tesla is actually the main funds of PIXAR. Confirmed.
Maybe
Yes.
though.
While there, Otto nearly destroys Wally by pushing a button really hard.
No, come on, he tases him.
He tases him, but then the second time he attacks him, he pushes a button really hard.
Yeah, and Wally
Wait.
gets like crushed, bro.
And Wally feel pain? So bad.
Yes, heartache.
It's a very
Yeah.
oh, that's true.
Like he feels like heartache and like system malfunction.
I don't think you can feel real pain. I think yeah, it's more like a system malfunction.
I don't know, but for an AI, would that count as real pain? I guess
No.
it's as
Maybe.
close as you could get.
Yeah, I guess so. Emotional pain. That's that's what
Not
I'm
as
saying.
pain as I feel every night.
Yes. Yeah. And
But Wally
Evie,
dies.
yeah, pretty much. He gets killed and then like resurrected to like a spark.
Feels bad.
It is a very
Yeah.
weird movie when you think about it.
Well, it's a beautiful movie. Robot love.
Yes.
Mm.
Evie decides love over her job, which is essentially saving humanity.
I hated the human in those movies, especially the captain.
Why do you hate the captain? He's like the only one that does anything.
Okay, sure, but like before then, they all just became a bunch of waste, man. They really sat in a ship doing nothing. Where
Yeah,
we
but
get the
everyone
food
sits in a
from?
chair
Who
doing
knows?
nothing.
I know it's terrible. And then the captain just allowed it, and the captain was like, "Oh, let's go back for what, bro? The whole Earth is still miserable. You gotta rebuild. It's been how long since you've been farming or planting or doing anything?
Bro,
You've been sitting in chairs."
Kalichi actually hurt from this
they
movie.
Say,
Yeah.
they say how long it was. They said it was what, like
It's like 5. Actually, what is it? It's
wanna say
day
it's 500
something of our 5-year tour.
no, it's isn't it like 500 years of our 1 year tour?
Is it 500 years? You know what's interesting?
Something like
Actually,
that.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but if you look at the times that the different captains served, they get longer and longer, and by the last guy, he's alive for like 150 years. So like
Yeah,
as they've been
literally,
staying on the
right.
ship, like they get like their lifespan is like increasing.
Because the AI found a way to like, yo, he'll find the most optimal way to keep the things alive.
Maybe it's actually a death sentence to go back to Earth. And you know the logic doesn't even follow. They found one singular plant, so it's like let's just go back
and
to
it,
Earth.
and they come swarming back in just to ruin it again.
And the thing, they don't
You're
even
right,
really
they
find, it's not
definitely
even an
ruined it.
edible plant. It's just a regular plant.
Yeah, it doesn't have any fruit or anything.
Because
It
as
could be
far
a
as I
bad-
understand,
it could be a bad plant.
Yeah, it could be poison. Like literally when the captain touches it for the first time, he could have had like a deadly illness.
well, the first time he touches it, it like breaks a leaf.
The plant is actually outraged, and it's gonna like do like some next level revenge with neurotoxins or something.
They had it good in the ship, even though they shouldn't be up there, but they still had it good.
Should fly into
Should
the
have
sun.
worked. She really should have, bro. Let Earth reset
Yeah,
with cars.
Yeah, as I was about to say, the car uprising could happen.
speaking of
Oh.
cars, a cool Easter egg you see is when Evie's searching for like the plant, you see the Pizza Planet truck.
That's in everything. Like that
Yeah, it is.
that car makes like worldwide business apparently. Just the one singular truck.
The Pizza Planet is a very popular brand.
It's super
Another-
popular.
Another Easter egg in Cars, or maybe Cars 2, you can see a mural of a whole Cars, a small Cars family in a corner, and it relates to the next movie coming up after Cars, which is Brave, which movie
Whoa.
I watched.
Oh gosh, what is that segue? Are segues alive in the Cars universe?
Of course. How do you think? How do you think they got mall cops?
Lart?
Bart?
Why it's still alive? He's still alive in the Cars universe.
But the real question is, did his mom go at the newspaper or the milk in the morning?
What runs over his mom in the Cars universe?
Hudson.
Dying.
Oh, anyway, so
Okay, tell me
I
about
chose
Brave.
Brave, and Brave takes place in the great land of Scotland, laddies. But I can't do a Scottish accent, so I'm gonna say
that was a
you.
Scottish accent. My bad.
I tried, but I'm
Scotland,
sorry, I'm not
laddies.
Scottish. Anyway, the movie starts with the main character Merida, and she sees this is when we see the Shire, and she sees a bunch of wisps, blue wisps, which are like fiery spirits, if you can imagine that, like small fiery spirits, and it kind of leads her into a forest, and it leads her to the demon bear, which attacks her and the family. And her father fights it off, and eventually the demon bear runs away, but it takes the father's leg in the process, which is really sad. But I don't think he was too bothered by it because like 10 years go by, he had the peg leg, and he's still boasting about how he fought the demon bear and I took his leg, and if it comes back, he'll get his revenge. And everyone hears the story, and they're all like tired of it. But Merida now is a grown young woman, and her mom is she has to be married.
She like 14, 15.
Well, she's getting married, man. This-
It's different in like ancient Scotland.
Exactly. Back then, they'll get married whenever they want to get married. So the mom said there are four ancient tribes or main tribes, and that take care of like cover it over the land, right? Merida's tried, and then three others. And her mom said she'd be married to one of the three other sons, right? So the three sons or the three families come over and they introduce each of the sons. The first one said, "This is my son. He fought off a bunch of warriors. He did this. He's a great this, great that. He's a great warrior. He should be your husband. He also looks like Alec. By the way, you'll see a picture. He looked. I think so. The other guys don't see it, but when I watch a movie,
gangly,
all I
bro.
saw was Alec. But that's Alec. Come on. The other two guys, they were pretty useless. They actually sucked. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro.
Anyway, Merida gets mad. He says, "I don't want to I don't want to get married to these guys. She wants to control her own fate because the whole movie's about fate, which should be called Fate and not Brave." But she says she wants to control her own fate, and she runs away. Her and her mom get in a whole argument. And like the mural I was talking about in Cars, that was in Cars. In Brave, it represents like the mom and the daughter having a connection. And when they were arguing, it gets cut, severing the connection. And then Merida runs into the forest and finds Wisp again, and it follows her into a witch house. And this witch, probably very to the theory, changes Merida's fate because it gives her a pumpkin or a cake, right? And it's kind of like, is it Sleeping Beauty with the apple, right?
Nah. Sleeping Beauty, she like touches like a spike or something. It's
No,
Snow White.
Snow White. Snow
Yeah.
White
Snow
with
White.
the
Yeah.
apple.
Similar to Snow White when the witch is making the apple things in the cauldron and taking things out, it looks like it's going to be a shape of an apple, but then end up being like a cake. And it gives it to Merida. Merida feeds it to her mom, and her mom feeds it to a bear. And as you know, it's a bear. Everyone's all a bunch of hijinks. I thought it was gonna be a lot more serious, but it was joking. The Meredith kind of figured out her mom was a bear, and the mom kind of figured out she was a bear because she could
It's
speak
a bear,
English.
bro. It's a bear.
Even
Yeah.
even though as a bear she can still speak normally. Things go down. They run on the castle avoiding her dad. Her dad trying to kill the bear. Her three younger brothers, who are my favorite characters in the whole movie, because
What?
they're
Bro.
schemers.
Bro,
Oh, they're
they
best.
annoy the.
No, the whole movie, they're always up to no good.
Yeah, that's what doesn't make any sense to me. Why is the mom on Merida all the time, but these little gremlins are out here, like
Oh, it's fine.
destroying
Merida, she has
people's
hope.
lives?
For Merida, she has hope. She's given up hope for her
No,
sons.
they're like
Come on,
they're
man.
like five. They're like five, and they're always doing the most. But these guys eat part of the pie, and they turn to little bears too. But don't worry about them. And then
Nobody
Merida
cares
goes
about them.
back. Yeah, no one cares about them. Merida goes back to find the witch. The witch was gone. Merida she sold all her wood carving, and then she did from that part. She left a little voice message in the cauldron, told her that if you can't fix this riddle about getting back in touch together, that the mom will stay together. The mom will stay as a bear forever. So Merida and her mom eventually reconnect as the demon bear comes back to fight them. The dad fights a demon bear. The mom fights a demon bear. They take care of him. The mom gets back into a human, and all's well ends well. Merida doesn't get married to one of those three guys. I'm sure she gets married to someone,
Let's
or
go
maybe not.
Scotland forever.
Scotland forever. Fun fact: when I was watching the movie, I did some history about Scotland. These guys are menaces. Like, no one invaded them successfully. Like the Roman Empire, they came through what's known as England now. They got to Scotland, and they were like, you know what? We're good. We've conquered enough. We don't got to take you guys anymore.
Bro, they're
And
out
then
here
the king
fighting
was,
bears, dude.
yeah, bro. The
Of course you're
king
not gonna
literally
mess
said,
with
yeah,
them.
Uncapable. Like, leave it.
Bro,
Anyway,
do you guys know who Hank the Tank is?
No.
He's like this absolute massive unit of a bear. That's the kind of bears that they're fighting in Scotland. Like just giant rotund bears.
man, if they call bear the demon bear, come on now, it's gotta be big.
Jeez.
Hank the Tank.
Anyway,
Hank the Tank.
Easter eggs. So there are a couple Easter eggs. One, when the witch was making the potion for Merida, she threw a little like lizard into the pot, and that lizard was it's the same image of a lizard called Newt that picks it was a movie Pixar was making that they eventually dropped about a lizard and his adventures. So that quick little part that they had, and then they kind of dropped it and never used again.
There's also the
Um,
same Easter egg of that movie that was canceled in Toy Story 3, I think.
Wait,
there
what?
was
What are you talking about?
They
there's
had
like
they
a
had they
of
had
the
like
lizard.
they had like a sign that said "Look out for lizards," on like in one
Yeah,
like the walls in Toy Story. I forget which one. I think 3.
I like how it's called
is it three?
newt, and like newts
Yeah.
aren't even lizards at all.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it's Pixar, man. It's not great on.
What else
Bro,
is it? Oh,
Pixar puts a lot of detail into their stuff.
they really do.
Yeah, they
In
do.
the witch's house, there are like a bunch of carvings because she's a wood carver, so she carved a bunch of things. One, the truck you guys are talking about that was in Cars and the Wally, she carves it and she has
Yeah.
it. Yeah, she has a carving of that in the shop. She has a carving of Sully in 2 different places. She has a carving of Sully, right? And she has a weird carving, but she has a weird obsession with bears. Like she has a carving of, the famous picture of the man and God almost touching fingers.
Yeah.
She made a carving of that, but instead of being men, the bears.
She
It's
also has
weird.
How long was it since I watched this movie? What was that?
When I saw that part, I was like, "That's weird. What's up with her and bears?" And then I saw Sully, and I'm like, "Oh." And also
Sully's
heard,
bear.
yeah, she can also. What is kind of connected to the Pixar theory? She has this weird magic where she can close doors and then she can warp what's on the other side of the door to like instantly by clapping her hands. Like kind of like how in Monsters Inc. where they close the doors and then they can like just teleport from one place to another with the
Gosh,
doors.
are we getting into the Pixar theory talk now?
Yes,
Yep.
we are because my movie connects right into it. The witch is a major focal.
I don't
If
like the fact that Brave is
depending,
like the whole heart of the Pixar theory. I don't
I
like
know,
that at all.
and the worst part is the witch plays like such a small part in the actual movie of Brave. Because
Yes,
she gives her the potion and she dips. She just leaves.
she's
And
gone
that's
to
it.
like the end.
Yeah, and it's not even like she says, "Oh, I don't want to help you to fix it, mom." She says, "I give you this riddle. If you figure it out, you're done. I have no problem with you being good, being fixed." Like it makes no sense. But anyway, in if people don't know the witch, people say they have a theory that the witch is the same little girl that Sully and what's the
Mike
Mike.
Wazowski.
Yeah,
Mike meet
Boo.
in
Boo's the
yeah,
was
yeah,
with
in
the
Monsters
Boo.
kid
Inc.
card.
Yeah, because the drawings of Sully in his shop, that's one, and her magic with doors, as they did the same thing to her. Well, they didn't do the same thing, but like she saw them do it, and well, yeah. If you saw a bear monster come to you as a child and you saw them teleport through a door, you kind of get invested. I don't know how she turned into a witch. I don't know what part of her life led it to be a witch.
Bro, when she messed up making the doors to see Sully and Mike again, and she got warped to Scotland in in the olden
Times.
days, she had to become a witch.
Make
That's
ends
it.
meet.
There's no more explanation.
True.
Yeah. So that's the connection to the basic theory my movie has. It's a pretty good connection because like all movies kind of connect to her. She's like the middle part who's teleporting between all movies and stuff.
Bro, do you guys actually like believe the Pixar theory?
I
Me some of
believe
it.
there was they had a meeting that they made the first after Toy Story that they had made like 4 movies. 4
Mhm.
movies were like what was it? It was give me a second here. I had it on my. It
What,
was
like Bugs Life, Monsters Inc.,
Bugs
Finding
Life,
Nemo.
Finding Nemo, and Wally. I
What
believe
about Incredibles?
that wasn't in the meeting. I mean, but I believe that's part of the Pixar theory. I don't know if the 25 films they've made now are still all connected.
Yeah, you could rationalize some of it. You know, like there are
Some
some
of
that
it,
you can
yes.
put in. Others are just like iffy. Like you mentioned before, Onward is kind of a weird one.
What happened in Onward?
Onward
Like
is
at the
just
end,
like
essentially.
at the end.
Yeah, like in the whole
Um,
movie.
The
What
kid
really
finds
happened?
out that kid still uses magic.
yeah,
Are they like elves?
they bring the
Are,
dad back for like a minute, and yeah, they talk to
are
him
they like
again. Well, he doesn't. His brother does.
are they like elves or
Yeah,
something?
it's
Yeah,
like a magical world.
it's like a
Okay,
magical world, but not
actually.
really a magical world. Like people
Yeah,
gave
actually,
up
yeah,
on
true.
magic.
It's just true though.
People gave up on magic because not everyone had it, and it was easier to flip a switch than it was to learn magic.
Do you realize though, you don't need everyone to learn magic. You need one guy in any city to know magic, and do you see the things he does in that movie? He makes a Cheeto the size of a boat. He could solve world hunger in like a day.
Is that
Yes, but
Cheeto?
Daniel, microwaving's easier.
What do you mean? Anyway, that one's weird. I don't know about that. Cars, I have trouble placing that in the Pixar theory.
For me, the Pixar theory it holds true when you go like if you go through the timeline, you're like the good dinosaur and like Toy Story or whatever. For me, I'm like it all works out. It works fine until Wally, because that's when humans leave, right? And then you start telling me that then cars start taking over while humans were gone. And then
And
I'm
then
like,
It's
how
they
does
die
how does
off
the
at
it's the
gate?
some point
it's
because
the
then people turn
AI
into monsters.
it's the AI that Syndrome makes is
I'm
by and
incredible.
large is by and large, and then makes humans leave, and then takes over cars, and then I guess they break down or something. Humans come
They
back,
run
and then
out
I
of
guess
energy, and then
yeah.
they start, and then become monsters. And the monsters are using human as fuel, and the
I
monsters.
don't agree with that. I feel like it's a
And
lot
then,
easier just to be like it's a parallel dimension, you know?
I want parallel dimension better than having monsters learn time travel to go back in time to scare kids.
Well, what kind
Yeah.
of logic is it that they can travel back in time to a set point, and it's not like they can travel back to any time they want because they're in the midst of an energy crisis and they're like, kids aren't scared anymore. I'm like, well, then if it's a time machine, go back to when kids were more scared, but apparently
Go
not.
back to the dark age. There, you can make a
Yeah,
lot
exactly.
of energy there.
Go back in the time
I
when
also find it
when
dumb where it's like, oh, we can only scare kids. A lot of parents would be scared if Solly bursts through a door and starts screaming.
So true.
oh,
It is so
100%.
true. I like how in
If you go,
Monsters University they try to convince you that you have to put like a lot of work into scaring an adult. I'm like, no. Sully just needs to open the door, and I would be screaming.
if you go into medieval times and like at nighttime and Sully just walks in from the shadows, he's scaring a whole generation of people.
Yeah,
Exactly, bro.
you can scare a whole castle in like in like an hour.
Easy. He
That's
just needs
crazy.
to walk in. He doesn't have to like roar or anything.
Yeah, it just continues just to walk through the castle. That's all he needs to do.
Even
It's
Mike, like I know they try to say, "Oh, he's not scary." I'm like, he
okay.
kind of is though.
Yeah.
Mike is pretty scary. I green Cyclops at like 4 feet tall. Come on,
Exactly.
I'd be less scared of a 7 foot tall Cyclops than a 4 foot tall Cyclops.
Probably actually.
It being short, it just doesn't half his body than I.
Bro, where's his stomach though?
It's in the
Oh,
back. It's fine.
Okay, who would be faster though, Mike or
Frozen.
Mike or Sully?
Faster? I
Mike.
think Mike is faster.
I
mean,
think Mike's faster. I think Sully's stronger.
I could. Well, yeah.
Obviously.
I agree with that assessment. Bro, where
Wait,
do
so
animals
in
fit in the Pixar theory? Isn't it that animals are gaining intelligence over time or something?
Yeah.
don't fish
How does
talk?
that even fit into the theory though?
Dory could
They
read.
gain intelligence over time, and then when Earth gets destroyed, so do they. I think.
But like, I don't know, man. Also, Kenny, when you mentioned earlier that the cockroach is a prisoner of war, you failed to mention that Rex from Toy Story is in Wally's place too. So he is another another
Is he?
prisoner. Yeah, he is.
He's got one. He's getting one from each tribe. For all we know, the Ratatouille is back
He has
there too.
Remy's like descendant as well in there somewhere.
No, Remy's is just there, just nailed to his wall.
If you think about it, Ratatouille's kind of nasty, man. A
I
whole
love
rat was
Ratatouille.
cooking. A whole
Yeah,
rat was
okay, but he
cooking
was a
the food.
clean.
Yeah, but don't worry, he dipped his hands in water.
Fair enough, but still, that was
He dipped his
nasty.
hands in
That was
water. That's all you need to do.
Kenny. Let's say you go to a nice restaurant and you give you a great steak. You're like, let me go thank the chef. Like, yeah, come to the back, and you see a swarm of rats cooking it up, a fire side. One guy still like going around, just screaming about the lamb size. Like, you're like, these are rats
Hey man,
cooking my food.
hey man, you didn't have to choose that restaurant. It was a choice.
No, until you got there,
Well, that
until they showed you the
sucks.
back.
It's actually true
Not-
though. If you told me one rat could cook, I'd be like, okay, that's nice. But if I walked into the back and the kitchen was just like filled with rats cooking,
Swarm.
I'd probably vomit, bro. And
What I don't
like rats.
understand is at the end of the movie, like, oh yeah, the food, the food, the health department shut us down, but we created another restaurant and they're fine with that.
I feel like the second restaurant they had to like do some illegal footwork and be like, look, you have to just disclaimer: a rat cooks the food in this place, okay?
But
Then
tell me
I'm-
how
then
tell me
I'm-
how you're okay. The food industry is okay with. It has to shut down one restaurant, but when the exact same restaurant opens in the exact same spot, still filled with rats, like that's fine.
He's a sentient rat, bro. Like, you know?
And I have a question for you. What if they showed you the back? You see all the rats, but you're the only one that knows about it. So you could either keep it a secret, or you could take it in public.
I'd be afraid that I like contracted some disease, so I'd probably tell people. I'd probably go to the hospital.
But
and be
Daniel,
like,
you gotta
"Can
remember,
check me?"
the rats are known for war.
Oh,
Yeah,
true.
They're gonna come after you
Daniel,
after.
Daniel, don't
You're
forget-
right,
Daniel,
they're
don't
gonna track
forget
you
it.
down.
Swine flu part 2.
Yeah, don't forget the food was good though.
Okay, but you saw what those rats did. They kidnapped the health inspector and the chef guy.
Was the food
and they
good?
threw him in a
did.
closet.
Was the food good or was it bussin'?
It was a bussin'.
Listen,
Ratatouille.
to be honest, I'd be more fine with him controlling the guy to cook my food than him actually getting in there with his own paws.
Oh yeah, of course. Because he's not actually touching the food.
So Khaleesi's better with enslavement than rats
Well,
cooking.
Okay,
Look,
Kenny,
that's step
Kenny, what's
one
the
in
difference
Pixar
between
War.
Kenny? What's the difference between this and Wally? Let's be honest.
Yeah, Wally keeps 2 prisoners of war.
I never said Wally was a good guy.
He's just in love, okay? And we like a sap in love.
He's a hardened war criminal in love.
So Kenny, you're against human enslavement, but not robot enslavement.
No, I never said I was for robot enslavement either. I just said there were enslaved.
Yeah, he's just reporting the facts. Bro, this conversation just is so good. I was about to say it got like off track, but it
Not
didn't.
really.
Did it?
It's been on more track than it's staying on track more than our other episodes.
I don't know about that.
Hey, we're still talking about Pixar, no?
Yeah.
Actually true, but we're not. We've got into talking about if it's better that a rat enslaves a man to cook food, or if it's better that a robot enslaves a cockroach in a toy. Gosh, this is a good one.
That is an interesting debate for the comments.
Oh,
It was also an interesting debate, Kenny. If this
Well-
episode is over,
I don't think that's a debate, unfortunately.
all right, do
Right.
your amazing outro, Kenny.
See us next time on the lunch table, guys.
Let's go. I love it.
this reminds me of the guest table.
Yeah, like funny.
I love it.